Hi, students. Good morning. Welcome to this class. Till yesterday, we solved the problems on VCR system of second type of cycle. Second type of cycle is the state of the refrigerant after compression is in wet region. Today, we are going to discuss in this class the third type of cycle, which is also called the simple vapor compression cycle, in which the state of the refrigerant after compression is in superheated region. As we know that superheated means the temperature above the saturation temperature, then that state of the refrigerant is called the superheated state. In this simple vapor compression cycle, the state of the refrigerant is in superheated after compression, that is a 0.2. This is the type of cycle, theoretical vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor after compression. TS and pH diagrams, these are temperature entropy and pressure enthalpy diagrams. One, it is either dry saturated or wet region or in superheated region, whatever it is, but the condition must be after compression in superheated region. So after compression, the condition is superheated region. From there itself, the cooling process occurs in the condenser. 2 to 2- is the cooling process by rejecting the sensible heat. 2- to 3 is the condensation process. Phase change occurs from vapor to liquid by rejecting the latent heat. So in this case, a vapor compression cycle with superheated vapor after compression is shown in on TS and pH diagrams. In this cycle, the enthalpy at 0.2, enthalpy after compression, is found out with the help of degree of superheat. Here, the degree of superheat is another parameter will be entered. Degree of superheat means the temperature difference between superheated temperature, that is at 0.2, and saturation temperature, that is at 0.2-. So the temperature difference between these 2 points is called the degree of superheat. How much superheating taking place, how much superheating after compression, we know that by using degree of superheat. The degree of superheat may be found out by equating the entropies again. How to find the degree of superheat? You have to find the temperature first of all at 2. How to find the temperature at 0.2? By equating the entropies 2 and 1, because we know the S1, that is, it is on dry saturated vapor line, by equating the entropies, because it is isentropic process 1 to 2, S1 equal to S2. By equating these entropies, we can find the temperature at a 0.2, that is superheated temperature. After getting the temperature, we can find the degree of superheat. T2 minus T2- is the degree of superheat. Now, COP may be found out as usual from the relation. This is the relation as in the previous case, COP equal to refrigeration effect by work done. Where the refrigeration is effective in which process? From 4 to 1. Because evaporator, in the evaporator, the heat extraction takes place during 4 to 1. Therefore, we can find the refrigeration effect, that is H1 minus H4. As we know that H4 is equal to HF3 or H3. H1 minus HF3 is the refrigeration effect divided by work given to the system is at compression process 1 to 2. During this process, we are giving work input. So work done or work input to the system is change in enthalpy across the compressor, H2 minus H1. This is the formula as usual as previous case. A little consideration will show that the superheat increases the refrigeration effect and the amount of work done in compressor. Both are increases due to during this superheated state. Up to saturation point, the evaporation will be takes place. From there itself, it is compressed. Then only the superheated condition will occur after compression. That means more amount of heat absorbing in the evaporator. Due to this more amount of heat extracting from the required space by the evaporator, the refrigeration effect will be increases. Okay. If the more amount of heat absorbed in the evaporator, the refrigeration effect will be increases. And also the dry saturated vapor, it's a dry compression, purely dry compression. The specific volume or density is less at 0.1. The specific volume is very more at 0.1 when compared to the wet condition. So whenever the specific volume is more, we have to compress more amount of refrigerant for a given work during this process 1 to 2. So more amount of volume to be compressed or more amount of work to be given for the same compression of refrigerant. So work input will be increases because of dry compression. The density is very less at 0.1 due to it is a vapor and specific volume is very high. So specific volume is very high. That's why for a given mass flow rate of refrigerant, more amount of work to be done. That is, a more displacement volume will be done by the compressor per minute. So work given to the system increases and evaporation refrigeration effect is also increases during this cycle. Since the increase in refrigeration effect is less as compared to the increase in work. Out of these two parameters, refrigeration effect and compression, that is the work given. Out of these two, work given to the system is more when compared to the heat extracted in the refrigeration, heat extracted in the evaporator. Therefore, the net effect of superheating is how to have low COP because work given to the system is increases when compared to the refrigeration effect. Whenever the denominator increases, COP will be decreases. So less COP will occur due to superheating process. Here, small note is that in this cycle, the cooling of superheated vapor will take place in two stages. Yeah, the cooling of superheated vapor from 2 to 3 is done in two stages. One is 2 to 2 dash is the one stage in which sensible heat rejects. 2 dash to 3 is the condensation in which latent heat will be rejects. This note represents that point only. Vapor will take place in two stages. Firstly, it will be cooled by cooled to dry saturated state at constant pressure, shown by 2 to 2 dash. And the secondly, it will be considered at a constant temperature, shown by 2 dash to 3. The remaining cycle is same as discussed in the previous article. So here, two stages heat rejection jarugutundi. One is the cooling process at constant pressure, 2 to 2 dash, and 2 dash to 3 is the condensation process at constant pressure and temperature. During this process, phase change occurs. During this process, phase is same, but temperature decreases from 2 to 2 dash or 2 to 2 3, T2 to T2 dash. Clear? Same cycle represents on the pH diagram. 1 to 2 is the compression, inclined line on the pH diagram, isentropic compression. 2 dash is the constant pressure, heat rejection, sensible in the form of sensible heat. And 2 dash to 3 is the heat rejection in the form of latent heat. 3 to 4 is the isenthalpic process, constant enthalpy. H3 or HF3 equal to H4. During this process, no heat and work interaction will be takes place. Only pressure will be decreased due to friction. Then 4 to 1 is the evaporation in the evaporator. By absorbing the heat, the wet vapor is converted into the dry saturated vapor. Again, cycle repeats. Okay, this is the pH diagram. This is the TS diagram for the given cycle. Let us go to the problem on this cycle. A vapor compression refrigerator uses methyl chloride. Whenever the simple vapor compression cycle is given in the problem, you have to take this type of cycle because it is called the simple vapor compression cycle, in which the dry saturated vapor before compression, superheated vapor after compression, and after condensation, it is a dry saturated liquid, and after expansion, it is a wet region. Like this, you have to set the set points, that is the state points whenever the cycle is simple cycle. Okay, let us go for the example one. A vapor compression refrigerator uses methyl chloride. It is R40. Methyl chloride is the chlorofluorocarbon refrigerant. The number of that number is represented as R40. R40 is the refrigerant number. The chemical name is methyl chloride, which involves chlorine and carbon, and operates between the temperature limits of -10 and 45 degrees centigrade. These are the temperatures at between these two temperatures, the cycle is operated. So -10 is the evaporated temperature and 45 is the condenser temperature. You have to take the properties of R40 at these two temperatures from the data book. R40 is the methyl chloride, which will be available in the data book. At the inlet of the compressor of the refrigerant is dry saturated. That is 0.1 is in dry saturated state. That means on the dry saturation vapor line. And after compression, it acquires a temperature of 60 degrees centigrade. That is, after compression, the temperature of refrigerant T2 is 60 degrees centigrade. So it is more than the saturation. This is the saturation temperature of 45 degrees centigrade at higher pressure. And the temperature 60 degrees centigrade is more than 45. That's why whenever the temperature is more than the saturation temperature, that's refrigerant is in superheated state. Okay, find the COP of the refrigerator. The properties of R40 as follows. These are the properties of R40. This is not given in the problem. You have to take the properties of R40 from the data book. It is available in the data book. Look at in the data book in the at the index page. Identify the R40 page. R40 page. You'll go to that page and take the properties at -10 and 45. Okay. -10 and 45 properties are enthalpy and entropy properties is given. Excuse me. This is the given data. Whatever represents in the data table, which is written in the data. So given T1, T4, lowest temperature or evaporator operated in -10 degrees centigrade, 263 kelvins. T2 dash T3, these are the saturation temperature of condenser, 45 degrees centigrade or 318 kelvins. T2, it is a superheated temperature after compression is 60 degrees centigrade is given, 333 kelvins. These are the data from the data table. HF1, that is the liquid enthalpy at lower temperature, 45.4. It is a liquid enthalpy at highest temperature, 133. H1 is the enthalpy at 0.1 at lower temperature, that is the vapor enthalpy, -10, the graph, 460.7. H2 dash is the vapor enthalpy at higher temperature, that is the 45, 483.6 kilojoules per kg. And these are the entropy values, similar corresponding entropy values. SF1, liquid entropy, 1 means at -10, -10 the liquid entropy 0.183. It is the liquid entropy at higher temperature, 3 is at higher temperature, 45.485. S1, S2 or the entropies are equal. S1 is the entropy of vapor because 1 is on the saturation line. It is given in the problem. That is the compressor inlet is refrigerant is dry saturated at inlet. That means the vapor 1 point is on the saturation line. Therefore, we can take the S1 value directly from the data. S1 and also S2, these two are equal isentropic process. S1 is value at -10 degrees centigrade. Vapor entropy is 1.637. And S2 dash is the vapor entropy at higher temperature is 1.587. This is the data given in the data table. Okay, by using this data, you can find the COP. Before proceeding the problem, we have to find the enthalpy at each point, that is H1, H2, H3, and H4. So H1 is already taken from the data table, H1 value, which is Hg at, that is a vapor enthalpy at lowest temperature. This is the highest temperature, this is the lowest temperature. Okay, at -10 degrees centigrade or 263 Kelvin, H1 is that is the entropy or enthalpy at 0.1 is from the data table, vapor enthalpy or vapor entropy at 263 kelvins. H3 or HF3 is the liquid entropy or liquid enthalpy at 318 kelvins. Okay, and HF3 is equal to H4. Therefore, we have to find the enthalpy at point 2. Clear? By equating the entropies at 1 and 2, we can find the temperature first. And after getting the temperature at point 2, we will go for the enthalpy at point 2. Okay. What is the formula when the state point is in superheated region? The formula is this, entropy formula is this. Let's see, Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure for superheated vapor. We know that entropy at point 2. How to find the entropy at point 2? If it is in superheated region, S2 equal to S2 dash saturation entropy plus this much of entropy increases during this process. Entropy increases during this process is the formula is specific heat of this superheated vapor into log of T2 by T2 dash. T2 is the superheated temperature. T2 dash is the saturation temperature. This is the saturation temperature. This is the superheated temperature. So log of T2 by T2 dash. This is the formula to calculate the entropy. You have to take the ln log base E. So S2 is 1.632 because S1 S2 are equal. S1 value is a 1.632. S2 dash is the saturation temperature, that is the vapor entropy at 318 Kelvin, 1.583 plus Cp into Cp is not known in this problem. You have to find the first specific heat of vapor into log of 333. This is a here the temperature is given 333, that is a 60 degrees centigrade, 333 kelvins divided by T2 dash is the saturation temperature is 380. So from this equation, we can find the Cp, specific heat of vapor is only the unknown parameter in this equation. So 1.632 equal to 1.587 plus this log 333 by 318 value is 0.046 into Cp. From the Cp is equal to 1.632 minus 1.587 divided by 0.046. Then we will get the Cp value as 1.09 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. This is the Cp value of superheated vapor at 318. Clear? After getting the Cp value, you can find the enthalpy at this place. Enthalpy formula when the state point is in superheated region, H2 is equal to, I written in the next slide, H2 is equal to enthalpy at point 2, H2 dash plus Cp into degree of superheat. That is the T2 minus T2 dash. This is the formula to calculate the enthalpy when the state point is in superheated region. In superheated region, the degree of superheat is T2 minus T2 dash. Clear? H2 dash is the enthalpy, vapor enthalpy at higher temperature, 483.6 plus Cp value 1.09, just earlier class calculated as 1.09 Cp value into 333, that is the superheated temperature minus saturation temperature at condenser is 380. So we will get the H2 value as 500 kilojoules per kg. Clear? After getting the H2, we can find the COP of refrigerator. We know that H1 minus HF3, this is the refrigeration effect per kg divided by work input to the compressor per kg is H2 minus H1. So H1 minus HF3, H1 is taken from the data table 460.7 minus HF3 is also from the data table 133 divided by H2 value is 500. Then we will get the COP as 8.34 for this system. Okay, R40 system, the COP is 8.34. Dear students, like this, you have to apply the formulas when the state point is in superheated region. These are the two formulas to for the entropy. For the entropy is the S2 equal to S2 dash plus Cp into log T2 by T2 dash. And enthalpy formula when the state point is in superheated region, H2 is equal to H2 dash plus Cp into degree of superheat, that is a T2 minus T2 dash, that is a T superheated minus T saturation. These formulas already you learn in the TE2. Already you used the entropy and enthalpy formulas in TE2, but it is those formulas is applied for the steam there. But here you have to apply that formulas for refrigerant which is given in the problem. Okay, whatever the refrigerant, you have to apply that formulas for the refrigerant which is flowing into the system. Clear? And let us go for the second problem here in this class. A simple refrigerant 134A. A simple refrigerant 134A is the refrigerant number which is generally used in the domestic refrigerator. This refrigerant is used generally in domestic refrigerator and air conditioners. Tetrafluoroethane. This chemical name for that is tetrafluoroethane. Clear? 4 fluorines. Whenever the 4 fluorines are there, it is called the ethane. Sorry, tetrafluoro. Clear? So carbon, if carbon atoms are 2, then it is called the ethane. So tetrafluoroethane is the chemical formula for 134A. I will explain in third unit the numbering and chemical formulas. It is in the syllabus third unit. A simple refrigerant 134A is the refrigerant heat pump for space heating. This 134A system is used as a heat pump for space heating. Operates between temperature limits of 15 and 50. That is, the 15 degrees centigrade is the evaporator temperature, 50 degrees centigrade is the condenser temperature. The heat required to be pumped is 100 megajoules per hour. This is the heat rejected in the condenser, 100 megajoules per hour. Determine the drainage fraction at entry of evaporator. That is at 0.4 x4. You have to find the x4. Drainage fraction means x. Entry of evaporator is 4. The compressor discharge temperature, that is the 2 T2. Assume the specific heat of vapor as 0.996. This is the CP value. CP value of superheated vapor is given as 0.996 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. The theoretical piston displacement of compressor. Piston displacement of compressor means volume flow rate of the refrigerant through the compressor. Okay, how much volume is taken by the compressor during its reciprocating process. So the theoretical piston displacement of compressor, this compressor is reciprocating type is. The power required, how much power is given to the compressor, COP of the system. These are the 5 parameters we are going to find in this problem. Okay, take the specific volume of vapors at 15 degrees centigrade. Specific volume is given at 15 degrees centigrade. Specific volume means it is the volume by mass. That specific volume is given for refrigerant is 0.4185 meter cube per kg. Okay, this is a specific volume used to find the piston displacement, because piston displacement of compressor is volume flow rate. Volume flow rate is equal to specific volume into mass flow rate of the refrigerant. If you multiply this 4.4185 into mass flow rate, then we will get the piston displacement. The other relevant properties of R134A are as follows. These are the properties of R134A. In this saturation temperature, 15 and 50. At 15 and 50, how to take the properties, how to note down the properties, these properties. Pressure, saturation pressure, this is specific enthalpy and specific entropy. Enthalpy, specific enthalpy is represented by kilojoules per kg. Specific entropy is represented by kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Clear? So liquid and vapor, liquid entropy, liquid enthalpy, vapor entropy is given, enthalpy is given. So by using this data, you can write down the data. This is the data given in the data table. The temperatures are given T1 and T4. T1 and T4 is given as 15, evaporator operating at this temperature, that is 288 Kelvin. And T2-T3 is the temperature given as 50, that is 323 kelvins. And the amount of heat rejected during the process 2 to 3 in the condenser condensation, amount of heat rejected is from 2 to 3 is 100 megajoules per hour. That is 100 into 10 cube kilojoules per hour. CP value is given for superheated vapor as 0.996 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Specific volume at 0.1, that is a piston displacement mean as entry of compressor. This is a compression process. At entry of compressors, at the suction of the compressor, the specific volume is given as 0.4185 meter cube per kg. Then HF1 means at lower temperature, the liquid enthalpy there displays liquid enthalpy is 220.26. It is in the data table. HF3 means at a higher temperature, liquid enthalpy is the HF3, which is also equal to H4. It is 271.97 kilojoules per kg. This is the HF3. HF3 means liquid or fluid enthalpy at 0.3. At 0.3 is a temperature 323 Kelvin. You have to take the properties of liquid enthalpy at 323 Kelvins, that is HF3. And HF3, H4 are equal because it is an isenthalpic process, constant enthalpy process. That's why enthalpy at 0.3 is equal to enthalpy at 0.4. And H1 is in dry saturated condition. That's why we are taking from the data table at 288 kelvins. or 15 degrees centigrade, the vapor enthalpy, this is the vapor line, vapor enthalpy is taken as H1, 413.6 kilojoules per kg here. H2 dash, this is the at this point, vapor enthalpy at higher temperature is 430.4. This is the vapor, this is the liquid lines. SF1, similarly corresponding entropies. SF1 means at this point the entropy, that is the 288 Kelvin దగ్గర entropy, liquid entropy is the SF1 from this place to this place. So it is 1.0729. S1 or S2, at this place entropy is S1 or S2, both are equal, constant entropy process it is. S1 is vapor entropy at this place, vapor entropy at 288 Kelvin, that is 1.7439. SF3 means at this point entropy is 1.2410. S2 dash, that is the entropy at this point, this is the vapor entropy at 323, 1.7312. These are the data which is noted from the data table. This is the TS diagram. Okay, before compression it is dry saturated, after compression is superheated vapor. Clear, students? If the cycle in the problem, it is not represented, it is simple cycle or whatever it is. If the cycle is not represented in the problem, you have to take the simple vapor compression cycle. This is before compression is dry saturated, after compression is superheated vapor, after condensation is dry saturated liquid, and after expansion is wet region. Like this, you have to consider a simple cycle if the cycle condition is not given in the problem. Okay, that is the important thing. If the cycle condition is not given in the problem, you have to take the simple cycle. Simple cycle is like this TS diagram. Okay. In this, let us go to find the parameters which is asked in the problem. First parameter is dryness fraction at entry of evaporator. This is the evaporator process 4 to 1. Entry means 4. So you have to find the dryness fraction at 0.4 X4. So to find the dryness fraction at 4, what is the enthalpy at 4 H4 is equal to, when the state is in wet region, we have to use this formula HF4 plus X4 into Hg4 minus HF4. Okay, everything is at 0.4. X4, from this X4 is equal to H4 minus HF4 divided by Hg4 minus HF4. Okay, this is the dryness fraction at 0.4. X4 equal to H4 minus HF4 means HF1. We can write as HF1 because both are at same temperature. And H1 minus HF1. Hg4 in place of Hg4, we can write H1 here. Yeah, in place of Hg4 means the vapor enthalpy at this point. So it is equal to H1. HF4 means liquid enthalpy at 288. It is taken as HF1. So H4 can be write as HF1, Hg4 can be write as H1. So H4 is the enthalpy. What is the H4 value, which is equal to HF3? Okay, HF3 and H4 both are equal. Here I written data in the data 270.97, 271.97 minus HF1. What is the HF1 fluid enthalpy at lower temperature? 220.26. Divided by H1. What is the H1 vapor enthalpy at 288? H1 value is, it is right in the H1 value where it is 413.6. 413.6 minus 220.26 is the H1 still. HF1 is. From this equation, we can find the that is the dryness fraction at 0.4 after expansion or before evaporator. At entry of evaporator, the dryness fraction is 0.2675. That is 26.75% of vapor. Remaining total is liquid percentage. Okay. Before entering to evaporator, the liquid percentage is more than the vapor percentage. Clear? Second but is discharge temperature. That is the temperature after compression. Compressor discharge temperature. Let T2 is the discharge temperature, that is the T2 value after compression. We know that the entropy at discharge, that is at 0.2. Just earlier problem, we written this problem, this equation, S2 equal to S2 dash plus Cp into T log of T superheated by T saturation, T2 by T saturation, that is T2 dash. From this, S2 is equal to S1. that is the entropy at point 1 and 2 is equal. S1 value is 1.7439. S2 dash is the saturation entropy at higher temperature 1.7312 plus Cp value is given here 0.996 into log of T2 is it is a unknown parameter T2 divided by T2 dash is the saturation temperature. Saturation temperature at this point is T2 dash 323 kelvins. Okay, in this equation only T2 is the unknown. 1.7439 minus 1.7312 divided by 0.996 is equal to log T2 by 323. So log T2 by 323 is equal to this value is 0.1275. How to find the T2 here? T2 by 323 is equal to e power. When we take the anti-log for both sides, okay, here on the right hand side, it becomes e power 0.01275. So T2 by 323 equal to e power that value, e power 0.01275 value is 1.0128. From this T2 equal to 323 into 1.0128. 323 is the T2 dash temperature. 327.13 kelvins or 54.13 degrees centigrade. This is the temperature after compression. Discharge temperature is 54.13 degrees centigrade. Clear, students? The T2 value. Next, theoretical displacement, theoretical piston displacement of compressor. Theoretical piston displacement of compressor, you find the displacement of compressor, we have to find the first enthalpy at point 2. If we know the enthalpy at point 2, then we can find the that is a mass flow rate, because in this problem, the heat given during this process is given Q value 100 megajoules per hour. So heat given, heat rejected from this value is heat rejected from this process in this process is H2 minus H3. H2 minus H3 is equal to 100 megajoules per hour. MR, mass flow rate of refrigerant into H2 minus H. This is the formula I will write here. Mass flow rate of refrigerant in the cycle, that is exit of the compressor, into a change in enthalpy across the condensation, that is the H2 minus H3. Because the state point is changes from superheated to saturation liquid during the condensation process. So this is the amount of heat rejected during this process 2 to 3. That is given as Q, that is 100 megajoules per hour. Then by equating these two, we can find the mass flow rate of the refrigerant. So before going to find the mass flow rate, we have to know the enthalpies at 2 and 3. Already we taken the enthalpy at point 3 as HF3, that is H3 or HF3 from the data table. Then if you find the H2 value, enthalpy at point 2 at this place, then you can find the mass flow rate of the refrigerant. Yes, students? So H2 formula, it is in superheated region. Therefore, we can apply this formula H2 dash plus Cp into degree of superheat, that is T2 minus T2 dash. H2 dash is the 430.4. H2 dash, that is the saturation enthalpy, that is the vapor enthalpy at higher temperature 430.4. It is written in the data. H2 dash 430.4 and plus 0.996 is the specific heat is given. 327.13 is temperature at point 2 after compression. T2 dash is the 323 is the saturation temperature. This is a superheated temperature minus saturation temperature. After getting the H2 value 434.5 kilojoules per kg, then we can apply the formula that is I written in the earlier slide. Mass flow rate of the refrigerant is mass flow rate into a change in enthalpy across the condenser is equal to heat rejected. Therefore, mass flow rate of refrigerant is equal to heat rejected by H2 minus H3 or HF3. Okay, here during this process H2 to HF3 or H3, the heat is rejected. So Q 100 into 10 cube kilojoules per hour divided by H2 value is 434.5 minus HF3 value is 271.97. Then we will get 615.3 kg per hour is the mass flow rate of the refrigerant through the cycle. So it is in minute 10.254 by 615.3 divided by 60. Then we will get the 10.254 kg per minute. For every minute, 10.254 kg of air, kg of refrigerant which is flowing in the system or crosses the every component for every minute. Theoretical piston displacement of the compressor is mass flow rate into specific volume. displacement volume is capital V at entry of compressor is equal to mass flow rate through the compressor. That is the mass flow rate is represented as M or mass flow rate of refrigerant into specific volume at entry of compressor. That is a small V1. So this is in kg per minute. Clear? It is in kg per minute. It is in meter cube per kg. Specific volume units is meter cube, volume by mass, meter cube per kg. Then kg cancel, meter cube per minute. We will get the meter cube per minute means a volume flow rate or piston displacement volume. If it is 100% volumetric efficiency, it is also mass volume flow rate of the actual volume flow rate of the refrigerant. So MR is 10.254 into specific volume is given in the problem 0.4185. That is 4.29 meter cube of air flowing across the compressor for every minute. This is the volume flow rate or piston displacement volume. It is represented as piston displacement volume. Okay, already you studied the compressor topics. Compressor topic. What is the volumetric efficiency? Volumetric efficiency of compressor is actual volume by swept volume, isn't it? Here the volumetric efficiency is not given. That's why we are taking this is the 1, that is 100%. Whenever the volumetric efficiency is 100%, swept to volume is equal to actual volume. Clear? Swept to volume means this is a piston displacement volume. Actual volume is volume flow rate of the refrigerant through the compressor. Both are equal. That's why we are finding the volume flow rate to the compressor 4.29. It is also represented as piston displacement volume. Clear? If the volumetric efficiency is given less than 100%, these two not are equal. So from that volumetric efficiency, we have to find the piston displacement volume. Clear? Piston displacement volume or swept to volume is ES equal to actual volume divided by volumetric efficiency. Then fourth bit is theoretical power of the compressor. What is the power required to the compressor? We know that the power equation is during the 1-2 process, we are compressing the refrigerant. During this process only, we have to give the work. So work given to the compressor is formula is mass flow rate of the refrigerant to the compressor into change in enthalpy across the compressor, H2 minus H1. Clear? So MR into H2 minus H1. MR is the mass flow rate, 10.254 kg per minute into H2. Enthalpy at point 2 is calculated here, 434.5 kilojoules per kg. Minus H1 is the enthalpy, vapor enthalpy at lower temperature is 413.6. We will get the work given to the compressor is 214.3 kilojoules per minute. If it is converted in kilowatts, then it is called as power. Power of the compressor is equal to 214.3 divided by 60, 3.57 kilojoules per second or kilowatts. This is the amount of power given to the compressor to produce a refrigeration effect or to reject the heat of 100 megajoules per hour in the condenser. Last parameter is COP. COP, we know that COP is H1 minus HF3 by H2 minus H1. H1 minus HF3 is the refrigeration effect. H1 minus H4 actual formula, H4 is also equal to HF3. So H1 minus HF3 is the refrigeration effect and H2 minus H1 is the work given to the compressor per kg. Clear? So after substitution of all the enthalpies here, we will get the COP value as 6.8. This is the COP of the given system. These are the 5 parameters we are calculated by using the given data. Okay, I will explain the third problem and the remaining problems in the next class. I'm closing this class at this time. Okay, students, bye. Have a nice day.